Legends, what is going on? This is the Gym Boss Podcast. I am Jimmy Halley and I'm your host. And as always, this is everything sales and marketing for your gyms and your fitness businesses, but also other things as well, included with business development, mindset, and anything else that you might need to be able to grow and scale your gym. And if any of that, if that's you and you're a gym owner and you're like, hey, yeah, that's me, and you want to grow and you're serious about growing in 2020, go on over to iwantgymleads.com. That's iwantgymleads.com. Created a short little video for you, and that's if you're serious about getting more clients, getting more leads, and growing your brand in 2020 with a premium offering as well. So that's iwantgymleads.com. But let's dive into this one. This one's called The Client Journey. What happens after the sale is even more important. So what happens after the sale is even more important, because we can be like, I know, like I'm in the business of marketing. So we're all on that front end. It's like the chase. It's like the hunting. It's exciting. It's like, that's the thing that people focus on. But then once they hunt, then they don't figure out how to catch. Does that make sense? Or like how to keep it. So once you hunt it down, you don't want to go find, oh, there's a client, and then don't know how to hold on to it, is basically what I'm saying here. In another word, retention, right? So we're going to talk about the process that happens here. And this is called the client journey. I like to call it like this, like there's books on like the hero's journey and stuff like it. But think of it, I like to call it that because think of it just like a story that they go through, or like but it's like a sequence that they have to go through to be able to get the result and the experience that you want them to have. And that means every single person will have it. So I know I'm sort of talking in theory and stuff here, but I've got a whiteboard behind me. So if you're on the podcast, you can't see, but I'll talk you through it. And if you're on Facebook Live, check it out. Like it's just a short, like my amazing Picasso-esque skills of drawing on the whiteboard, but we're going to get there. Pardon me, just had to wet the whistle there. So think of it like, I want to think of it like this though. Like a lot of companies, a lot of gyms will, or not gyms, but a lot of big companies, gyms are a bit better at this, but they'll have a specific sales department. And think of it like this. So they have a specific sales department, and they're having the consultations with that specific person. And then, you know, maybe they have a couple of meetings or a couple of phone calls or whatever, right? Some text messages, and it's all coming from this one person, the salesperson. But most often than not, like some people don't know that's a salesperson. They just think it's someone part of the company. Then once the deal is done, once they've signed on the dotted line, they handball them off to like the person that's going to be handling their account or handling their stuff. And then there's no other communication from that salesperson. And it's really weird because it's kind of like dating. And if you were dating somebody, going through all the process of trying to, you know, wine and dine them and do all this sort of stuff. And then after they're like, hey, yeah, like let's start going out. Let's make this thing official. And then you go, yeah, no worries. Well, here's my mate, Davo. He's going to take over the reins from now. I've done my job. Like, it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And so that's that part. And that's for bigger like businesses. If you've got a big team and you've got dedicated salespeople, understand that the salespeople still need to have some sort of role in the weekly touch points or monthly touch points with the clients once they're in the gym. That's what I'm trying to make a point there. Okay. But if you're a smaller business and it's maybe just you and a handful of trainers, or maybe it's just you at the moment, you know, this next part, what happens after the sale, is what I want to talk about here today. So this is called the client journey. And basically, I'm just going to draw a timeline across the whiteboard, or you can put it into a calendar, but I can't be bothered to draw a calendar right here. And I'm sure you can't be bothered to watch me draw a calendar. So I'm just going to draw a timeline, and I'm going to do this just for a short period of time, just to give you an example, but then you can beef this out to like be up to like 90 days worth or so. So, you know, you get the idea, but 14 days, I'm going to draw a line across the page. Ready? And it doesn't work. Jack's been at my whiteboard markers. So let's see if I got a red one here. Here we go. And this is the power of live recording. Here we go. Bang. Left to right, or maybe backwards if you're on Facebook Live, who cares? But On the very far left is touch point number 1. And let's just say we won't take into account all the marketing side of things in the sales process or whatever. But let's just say you've met with them and now they're like, yep, let's go. So what happens, like, this is to avoid buyer's remorse, and this is to help, this is what I found, like, what really helps people be engaged and, like, love the company and love the gym and love everything that you're all about, because you're treating them like a person. You're treating them like a human being, right? And it's not just like another transaction or another number on the scoreboard to, you know, make sure. Gyms are good at this, but I just want to reiterate the fact that they are people. We need to treat them like people, but now we need to systemize the touch points. The client journey is the touch points that they're going to get while they're within your business. And this is so you can keep them long term, instead of them just signing up, dropping off after the first 14 days or the first month or whatever, never to be seen again. Because you ultimately, like, the hardest thing to do is to get a new client. So once you got them, you got to do your damn best to keep them. So 14 days, let's say here. Day one, they do their, they sign paperwork. Done. So they sign paperwork on day 1. I'm going to put the day numbers on the bottom and what it represents on the top. So day 1, they do that. And then maybe they have, that's signed, and maybe they haven't come into the gym yet. So that's okay. So maybe their first session is, maybe it's on a Friday, so maybe their first session's on Monday. So then we'll say day 3 here, we send them a reminder text, a pump-up text. Pump-up text, and that's to remind them that they've got their session tomorrow, right? So that's like, hey, Jenny, so awesome. I know you've got you're all signed up. Just letting you know that your first session's in tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pumped to see you in the gym. Don't forget to bring your towel and water bottle, and we're ready to rock and roll, right? And yes, if you're a big gym, you should be doing this. You should be scheduling in their first session for them when you sign them up, because then that way because like, you've got to help them. Like, if you just give them a timetable and go, here, come whenever, like, sit down with them with the timetable after sign the paperwork and go, okay, here's our schedule for the next week. What time would you like to come in on Monday? Because we want them to start on Monday. So then you do that and pump up text. Then day 4, they have their first session. First session, first class, whatever. And then day 4 again, we're going to have the first session, but then we're also going to send them another text. And that's another pump up text where we're going, hey, you absolutely killed it today, Jenny. Great work, 10 out of 10. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Because now we're trying to get the commitment of everything. Or like, look, you know, maybe they ask something during the session and go, Jenny, great session. To answer your questions about the nutrition stuff, I've tagged you in the Facebook group with all the materials that you need to get the ball rolling with the initial diet stuff that we got. Or I've sent you an email or whatever, how you do it, right? So then in here, so then you've got to say, like, maybe they signed the paper, going back to day 1, maybe they signed the paperwork, then you add them to the members Facebook group. But not only add them, you tag them in a welcome post, getting everybody else to come in on there and pump them up, right? Tag in. Now, do you see how this is going? We could build this out. So I'm only up, that's day 1, day 3, day 4, and then we say we go along to day 6. Second session. Just using this as an example. Second session. And then maybe that second session, they're just training there, right? And then after, so day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, day 8 is like Friday. So they've done Monday to Friday, and maybe they're not training. So then you just want to send them a text or a call. Could be a text, could be a call, and it could be just like, hey, awesome job this week. I'm so excited, you know, and the same deal as what you've done here. So now you're just keeping them in touch. Could be a text. Now that could be in person though as well. Like, you just figure out what you want it to be like, what the touch point is, but it needs to be methodical. So every single person that comes in the gym gets this sequence done, right? Maybe it could be, instead of a call, it could be like an email. Maybe they get an email there. Just like, hey, you're in your first week. This is what you could probably expect after your first week. Or maybe that's, instead of an email, that's a post in the Facebook group that's a pre-existing post about recovery techniques. Like, hey, you've done your first full week. You're probably really feeling really sore. Here's a couple of supplements that we recommend. We're making stretching, making sure you drink heaps of water, whatever it is. So giving them some more tips and info there, right? And then build this out like up to 14 days or up to 14 days, like a month, even more, right? And then maybe we go, okay, day 10, they go attend a workshop, because you run a workshop every 2 weeks or something, right? Or once a month, whatever. So just they attend a workshop, or they get some extra content, and then, and then keep going through that there, and then build out a process that, like as soon as people come into the gym, bang, they're getting those touch points. And but the more you can humanize it as well, more you can personalize it, the better. And like people probably get going, but Jimmy, it's all about automation. Yeah, look, automation is great. And you can automate some of this stuff with like emails and whatever, but the text message takes 2 seconds. And if you've got a list of people that you're looking after in the gym, you just be like, okay, cool. This person's in their first week. I know they've got to send them a text to like pump them up and also get them to re-engage and keep them engaged. And then there may be like somewhere down here, like day 12, they get like a free pass to bring a friend. Look, I'm just pulling this out of my butt right now. You got to sit down and figure out how you want it to go, right? But like figure out like, what would you like to experience? What's some stuff you've experienced in other industries, not necessarily in fitness, in gyms, but like even if you go to a cafe, what's great about it? They're friendly, they're helpful. So that's be friendly, that's be helpful, and that's figure out the best way that you can do this, that you and your team can do this to be able to do that. And I've got some other processes that we do, like in terms of like the front end. Now, if you're struggling with the front end to get people into this process, then go on over to iwantgymleads.com. I have a done-for-you marketing agency completely exclusively for gym owners that want to be able to outsource it, so then they can focus on doing this stuff. So they can focus on getting the customer experience amazing, getting the customer results. So, because what you're doing here is you're systemizing the result and you're systemizing the experience. And there's the two things. So people have got this consistency about it, and that your team has consistency about it. And the more simplified you make this, and the more human you make it, the better. So that way that people are getting a great experience, and they want to refer friends. They want to bring people, but also, even if they don't refer friends and bring people, they stay. You don't want to lose them. You don't want to do all the hard work or paying for money for marketing, paying for money maybe for an agency like myself, paying money for a salesperson, paying out commissions, and then you do all that and they drop off after the first week or the first month because we haven't done this stuff here. So this is where a lot of focus needs to go. And if you need help of like getting people to come to you so you can focus on this, go to iwantgymleads.com. Short little video for you over there. And if that resonates with you, fill in a little form, and then we'll be in touch about how we can talk about filling the pipeline at the front of this so you can then get all these people so you can focus on keeping them all. Anyways, this is Jimmy. Peace. Love you all. That was a great little one. I'll speak to you soon.